Good morning, Unity of Sarasota. Hi, I'm Rob Satori, your music director here, and we will have Reverend Virginia Walsh in just a few moments. But first, we're going to sing together on a Jack Fowler song called Prayer of Gratitude. We can all stand and sing on this together. Can we do that? Stand up and sing. Grateful, grateful, I am grateful for all that I am, all that I have. I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful, thankful, thankful, I am thankful for all that I have, all that I am. I'm grateful, oh so grateful, grateful, grateful. I am grateful for all that I have, all that I am. I am grateful, I'm so grateful. There you go.
Good morning. My name is Sam Aldridge, and I would like to welcome you to Unity of Sarasota. Our purpose here at Unity is to create a place where all have the opportunity to learn, to grow, and to worship, while connecting with others who are on an ever-changing spiritual path through life. And we want you to know that wherever you are on your spiritual path today, that we welcome you, and you're welcome here, and we encourage you along the journey. Together, we join with the unity movement around the world in creating a place that works for all people. All right, let's welcome our guests first. We have any guests today? Will you please stand and remain standing? Well, we have a gift for you, and this gift, our board member of the day, Susan, is bringing you that gift now. And you'll find in that gift, in that packet, you'll find a necklace, all right? And we encourage you to wear that necklace today because it has special powers. That necklace will get you first place in any line that you encounter here today. And it's made of shells. We would like for you to stand again. We'd like to find out where you're from.
I'm sorry. I live in Sarasota. I'm originally from San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, a Texan. Welcome. Well, there's a card there. We encourage you to fill the card out, or we ask you to fill that card out. And you can give it to Susan, either here, put it in a collection basket, or take it to the fellowship hall. And Susan will be there at a table under an umbrella. Look for the umbrella, and you can turn that in. And that shell necklace that you're putting on there contains shells. Those shells represent the individuals in this congregation. And the string that holds them together represents the love that flows through this congregation and through the individuals. So we do welcome you here. All right, we welcome our guest. Next. What about children? We have any children with us today? Oh, okay. Hi there. All right. Well, there's a child in each of us, and we do celebrate that child by saying, will you please read with me? We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we see the living Spirit in you. That's to represent the child in each and every one of us. Okay, the Youth and Family Ministries September program topic, Power of Order. And we use the power of order to organize our thoughts, feelings, and actions, and to soar and help create a world that works for all. So, Ms. Cheryl, will you raise your hand? All right, is our youth educator coordinator. And Cheryl will be, throughout the month of September, her topic is power of order. All right, also there's an exciting book study, Wonder and Learning, and it's based on teachings of Mr. Rogers, and this wonderful book study with Nan Summers illustrates the relationship between wonder and learning. And we encourage you to sign up in the fellowship hall with Nan to get on board. Is Nan here? Yes. Okay, there's Nan. Thank you.
We'll be joining 600 people who are in circles in this area right now, so it's a really very popular program, and it's free.
Great, thank you. All right, next. All right, it's already fall equinox, and the celebration Restoring the Balance will be Saturday, September 23rd at 7 p.m. And Reverend Zan Benham, better known as the Butterfly Deer Woman, will be conducting this.
That's me.
That's it right there.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right. All right. There will also be a pet blessing, and this will be on Saturday, September 30th from 11 to 2. And this will be here at Unity of Sarasota, Proctor Road, 3023 Proctor Road, Sarasota. All right. And we've also joined Facebook. Unity of Sarasota has a new Facebook page, and please click on it and like us. It's Unity of Sarasota on Proctor is the one that you're looking for, and there is the URL for it, so please join us there. All right, on Saturday, September 30th, from 9 to noon will be campus beautification, and we want you to help us stay beautiful. So come out and join us. It's going to be a great lunch provided for you, and it'll also be an opportunity to socialize somewhat and get some work done. That's not a dichotomy. Okay. All right, also, there is, this is a little out of sequence with my notes. That's why I'm reading here. Sing and dance and play, Estatica. Is that the way I say that?
Ecstatica.
Thank you, Estatica. Estatica, sing and dance and play. And this is going to be, what's the date on that?
29th.
Okay, September 29th?
Yes.
Okay, September 29th, sorry.
I have.
Okay, October 2nd. Thank you for that. All right. And this year we're celebrating Thanksgiving together, and it's going to be at the Dutchman restaurant. So we're planning to have Thanksgiving dinner there, and we will be selling tickets for this, I understand. So you can sign up. The details will be available next Sunday, September 24th. All right, so please check the back of your bulletin for our other October events, because something good is always happening here at Unity of Sarasota. Yes, you may, Don. Okay. Okay. Thank you for correcting us, Don. Thank you very much. Next Saturday, Beautification Day, come out. There will be lunch served. I repeat, there will be lunch served.
Yes. And not only that, it's the day right before my birthday, which is October 1st. So you all know that. You know that, right? That was a shameless plug, and I'm so sorry about that. Let's do the Unity hymn and stand and sing together. Would you please help me do that? Every prayer is answered. Every prayer is heard. Every thought and feeling what your heart can feel is already here, is already real. There is no one out there, there is no one else. You hold all the answers deep inside yourself. There's a voice that whispers, there's no you, no me. There's just one, there's just unity. One power, one presence, one light to lead the way. All loving, all knowing, that answers when you pray. When the world looks darkest and your eyes can't see, gather all your troubles, give them all to me. I am always with you, I will always be. I am one, I am unity. We are one, we are unity.
Statement of being. There's only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life. God, who is perfect life, perfect intelligence, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am an individualized expression of God. You are an individualized expression of God. We are individualized expressions of God. Thank you.
And now I've got a song for us. Some days we forget to look around us. Some days we can't see the joy that surrounds us. So caught up inside ourselves, we take when we should give. So for tonight, we pray for what we know can be. And on this day, we hope for what we still can't see. It's up to us to be the change, and even though we all can still do more, there's so much to be thankful for. Look beyond ourselves, there's so much sorrow. It's way too late to say I'll cry tomorrow. Each of us must find our truth. We're so long overdue. So for tonight, we pray for what we know can be, and every day we hope for we still can't see. It's up to us to be the change. And even though we all can still do more, there's so much to be thankful for. Even with our differences, there's a place we're all connected. Each of us can find each other's love. Tonight we pray for what we know can be, and on this day we hope for what we still can't see. It's up to us to be the change, and even though we all can do so much more, there's so much to be thankful for.
Great Rob Satori. Okay, are we going to do the statement of being?
We did that.
Oh, we did?
We're
okay.
good.
Thank you. All right. Well, I would like to welcome Reverend Virginia Walsh to Unity of Sarasota, and she's going to come forward and give us such an inspiring message this morning, and we are very fortunate to have her. Will you join me?
Well, I'm very excited to be here and have this opportunity to share something with you that has been really transformative in my life. And part of my personal mission is to help all of us to awaken to the knowing that we are spiritually empowered beings. Is that too much? Okay. Am I getting an echo? Okay, great. All right. So, several years ago, I was asked to go to court with a young man who was a congregant in our ministry. And he had confessed to me in counseling that he had been growing and selling marijuana. This was several years ago when it was more frowned upon than it is now. I don't know what the law does about it now, frankly. But anyway, at that time, it was difficult. So he came to me and said, look, I'm stopped doing this. I'm awakening spiritually, and I really want to turn my life around. And I thought, great. Well, I am here to support you. Well, in the meantime, before he could get rid of the crop, he got arrested. So he was going to have to go to court, and it was a serious business because he could get up to 5 years incarceration, even though he had never been arrested before. And so I prayed with him, and I said, I want you to, just be open to your highest good unfolding here, and I will be with you to support you. And so that day in court, I went in and with the family, and I told the family, now just try to stay at peace and stand in faith and just trust divine order here for the highest good. Of course, it was very hard for them to do. And when things didn't seem to be going his way, you could see these white-knuckle grasps and the handholds of the family there. So when I had a chance to get up and speak, I said, I really believed he was trying to turn his life around, that I was here to support him, and that I hoped the judge would give him an opportunity to follow the direction he was in now. And so when I wasn't speaking, I was holding the room in divine love. And I saw the whole room filled with pink light representing divine love. And I imagined love flowing between the defendant and the judge, and between the prosecuting attorney and the defending attorney. But still, things did not look like they were going too well. However, in the end, the judge only sentenced him to a year of incarceration and a year of probation, which is much less than what he could have gotten. His family was ecstatic, he was relieved, and we were all celebrating, you know. And I heard the attorneys talking, and the prosecuting attorney was saying something, and then he said, "I have never seen such a lenient, what am I, the word I'm trying to, sentence for this kind of an offense." And he said, "And I know what happened, and she knows what happened." And when he did that, he pointed to me. And I was just completely shocked, number one, that that he would say such a thing out loud. And you know, when somebody points at you like that, you can actually feel that energy. That's why I pointed at an empty chair, because you can feel that energy, you know. But what really surprised me was that I really think that he was spiritually aware. I mean, he knew I was a pastor, but I think he knew what was going on. I think he knew that we were really into some powerful prayer work there to make this come about. And so that was one of the many times that I have used this prayer process that I want to introduce you to today. And it is not something that I invented. I discovered it many years ago in the mid-'80s when I was traveling, and I had a little paperback book on spiritual things, and I was reading it, and I read this meditation or prayer exercise where you see energy looping between two people. That's why we call it the pink loop, and it is a visualization of the light of love flowing around your heart and the heart of another person. If someone you have conflict with, someone you've had difficulty communicating with, someone you've been estranged from, there's many, many uses for this. And so I learned about the pink loop from this little paperback book. You know how sometimes you read the whole book, but sometimes one paragraph is all you need? Well, that one page is all I remember out of that book because I put it to use. And the first time that I used it was actually in business. And at that time, I was working in advertising. This was before I became a minister. And so I worked with a lot of photographers and video companies. And so there was this one director who was really good, and he had a great reputation. And every time I got to work with him, I got all excited because it looks good on your resume. So anyway, the problem was that he was one of these terse individuals. And you ask him, like, okay, so what's my part to do here, you know, for this video project? And he'd give you like 5 or 10 words, and that's it. And then he's out of the room. And I'm going, he said, what? So I really couldn't understand exactly what he wanted, which made working with him cumbersome and confusing and frustrating. And so I decided to use the pink loop in this situation. And so I went home and I sat in meditation, and I imagined myself sitting in front of him, and that this pink loop, as you see in the slide there, would be moving between my heart and his heart in the horizontal figure 8 infinity symbol pattern. You just see that pink light connecting the two of you on a heart level. And the thing that happens is, as we do that, in order to be sending that love and visualizing it, we have to be generating it from within. And so it lifts our consciousness. And so from a place of love, I was extending love to him. And so when I felt fully centered in this vibration of love, then I would affirm or speak to him as if he were there with me. And I said, look, in prayer, I said to him, look, I really respect you and I admire you and I want to have a good working relationship with you. And so I just want you to know that I am here to support you. I'm not against you, I'm for you. Because I want you to be successful. I want the projects that we work on to be successful. I just need more clarification on what you want me to do. So I wasn't the only one that had this issue. The rest of the people working on the project also said the same thing. We just can't figure out, he's not really telling us what he wants. So I kept this up for about 6 weeks, and then I got a call to work with him again. And so when I went in this time, it was a completely different situation altogether. He was like a changed person. He talked in clear terms. Took his time to explain. And I thought, this is great, And so, so when we got to working on the project, I knew what I needed to do, and everything just flowed really beautifully. And the other crew members also noticed and mentioned, wow, he's really explaining things now. So that was a shift in a business situation. And the Pink Loop works a lot of times in those ways where you've tried human contact, you've tried to talk it out, you've tried to make peace with somebody, or you've tried to resolve an issue, and it just didn't work because our personalities bump into each other sometimes, You may not have noticed that, but I have. And so what happens in this is because we are holding a vibration of love, we are lifted above the personality level, and then we are communicating with them spirit to spirit in a higher vibration and a higher consciousness, which avoids a lot of the issues of the personality and the ego. And so when I had success with that, I said, this stuff really works. And so I began to use it in other ways too. And I began to tell others about it. And so after I became a minister, I would tell people about the Pink Loop prayer in classes and in counseling and also on Sunday morning. And so I've recommended it to so many people, and I have so many stories of how this has worked to shift the situation into harmony and cooperation rather than opposition or conflict. And so you can use it in any situation where there's tension, where there's conflict or confusion or resistance. And so it can be used, in your friendships and your family relationships. It can be used at work. It be used in really any situation. I sometimes use it like if I've got a meeting scheduled, I'll Pink Loop it just to set a tone of harmony and cooperation. If I'm going to visit family, I might use it, or have an event with friends just to set a vibration of harmony and joy and appreciation. It's like the important part of it is the intention that we set, because our intentions are very powerful. And so this Pink Loop method is an intention to connect with the other person, to lovingly support them, to be open to having that harmony and success, as you might call it, spiritual success or a transformation to happen as we shift out of our frustrations, shift out of our fears or our doubts. We move into that higher vibration of love that heals and harmonizes, is one of our 12 powers. It's a very powerful power. Divine love is, many consider, and I do too, the greatest of all the 12 powers. So I also you'll see that slide you have there that shows how you loop the horizontal figure 8 between you and the other person. You can also loop a group of people. You can pets, I've had that question. Yes, you can use it with pets also. They're very receptive. And so I also recommended it to a very worried mother who came to me. And I've had a number of these situations where parents or a parent would come to me with difficulties with an adult child. And so this mother was very worried about her son because he had been drinking heavily, he lost his job, and then he stopped communicating with her. So she didn't know what had happened to him. She knew he'd lost his job. She knew he was in trouble. She knew he was highly addicted. And so when you don't hear, you don't know, So she was very worried about his safety. And so I suggested that she use the Pink Loop because she hadn't heard from him in 3 months. And so she began to use that. And in a couple of months, she heard from him. And he had stopped drinking. He was attending AA. He got a new job. And he was in a recovery program. And so he followed that path and eventually started a new career that he's very successful. He's still alcohol-free, and he's keeping a very close relationship with his family. You can imagine the mother's relief, because if you haven't heard from your child and you don't know where they are, they might be an adult, but they're still your child, right? And so her gratitude and relief was great, as you can imagine. So there have been several instances of that. In fact, not long ago, I got an email from another mother whose son was angry with his mother and father and blamed them for all of his problems and was going on these rage attacks, and then he just quit communicating with them altogether. So I told them about the pink loop, and a few months later I got this email. He called us, he's talking to us, we're mending our relationship. And so I love getting those emails and hearing this positive response from this practice. So could I see the next slide? So Emmett Fox said, "There is no difficulty that enough love will not conquer." And I love that quote, and I also like a lot of Emmett Fox's teaching. So there is no difficulty that enough love will not conquer. So I talked a little bit about when we can use it, so I'd also like to explain why it works. For one thing, the infinity symbol and this concept of the power of divine love and the power of spirit, these are ancient concepts that are embedded in the human collective consciousness. And so when we activate this pink loop prayer, we are also activating our subconscious mind. The creative power of the subconscious mind is being called on. And so these symbols, especially the infinity symbol, has been used for thousands of years. It is found in Egyptian artifacts and also in Viking artifacts. And in 1655, it was begun to be used in mathematics as a mathematical theory. And it is called a lumenscape, I think is the name of it. But there's another nickname for the infinity symbol, which I thought was interesting, that they call it the lazy 8, because it's lying in a horizontal pattern. So this infinity symbol is very powerful in our psyche, and it symbolizes the infinite power of spirit, the eternal, unlimited power of love to heal and harmonize our lives. And of course, that infinity symbol is a symbol of the infinite power of spirit. So together with that pink color, which symbolizes divine love, it holds a lot of symbolism, a lot of energy, and a lot of awareness for us. And so it can also help us dissolve fear and worry, because when we go into meditation and we go into the vibration of love, then we are lifted into a higher vibration so that we can release the fear, the anxiety, and the worry. And guilt is another emotion that can, sometimes be there that we can release. And so anytime we move into a higher vibration, then everything is going to flow better. And one of the main reasons that this process works, or any prayer works, is to shift our consciousness, right? Prayer is not to make God change its mind about us or make somebody else change their mind. Prayer is to lift our consciousness to allow others to shift. And so we can let go of that fear and worry. And sometimes when I counsel with people family members, or maybe they have their own severe difficulty at that time, the fear is great. And so sometimes it's very hard to let go of that fear, and this really helps us to do that. And so it would also activate, as I said, our power of divine love, but also the other of the 12 powers. It's definitely activating our power of imagination, the power to visualize. But if you have difficulty visualizing, don't worry. You can also just think about the loop going around, the movement. Think about that movement. Think about the color and the shape. And then the other thing, and you see me doing it now, is I talk with my hands. So you can use your hands to think about that moving of that energy of love and feel the flow of it as you do that. So if you're kinesthetic, you can use your hands. If you're auditory, you can speak it out loud. If you're visual, you can visualize it. So any of those will work. It's the intention that's the most important. The prayer to me also makes us more aware of our oneness with one another. Because as we move into a space of love and we are connecting with the other through love, we are extending our love to the other. And one of the affirmations that we can say as we're doing this, so once you get the loop going around and you feel yourself in an energy of love, and then you speak to that person and say, "The love in me beholds the love in you. The God in me beholds the God in you. Or the Christ in me beholds the Christ in you." Any of those will work. The Spirit in me beholds the Spirit in you. It's like a visual namaste. And so when we connect with one another like that, we remember our oneness with each other, and we also remember our oneness with Spirit and our own divine nature. And that's what we're doing with this prayer, is remembering that we are not merely human. We are human beings, spiritual beings, merely having a human experience. And so this prayer lifts us up above the human effort, the human level of effort and struggle. And you notice that you don't have to do anything physically. It's all done in prayer and meditation. And this is the level of consciousness that we are moving into now, into the fifth dimension of awareness, so that there is less struggle and life becomes easier as we rely more and more on our spiritual abilities rather than just our human efforts. And so this prayer helps us to recognize that oneness. It reminds us of our own divinity and our own spiritual abilities, and it helps us live a spiritually empowered life. And naturally, this is not the only way to pray, for there are obviously many ways to pray. And this is just another method to use to help us visualize something, to help us take steps to get into that higher consciousness. And in that higher consciousness, we allow the transformation to take place. We allow the Spirit to harmonize the relationships. We allow the healing emotionally, mentally, and even physically. Sometimes I use it in meditation to put the loop around my head and heart, connecting the head and heart. You know, it is said the longest journey is from the head to the heart. And so you can use the loop inside your body. I use it sometimes balancing the right and left hemispheres of the brain. So just imagine the loop going through there. And I've had people tell me how creative they use it too in many ways, such as balancing the chakras. So seeing the loop from the base of the spine to the crown of the head, and seeing that movement, that infinite divine love, balancing our chakras and getting us centered, releasing emotional upsets, and balancing us physically also. So there's so many ways that it can be used. And it is just another powerful prayer practice that transforms our lives. So today in the workshop, we're going to talk more about that. After lunch, we'll have the workshop and talk about more about how to use it, and we're going to experiment with it and actually experience doing it in the workshop today. So I hope you'll join me for that. So there's another slide. A Charles Fillmore quote. I could not leave Charles out of this talk. "Love will accomplish more for our happiness than all other spiritual faculties combined." It's very clear in the 12 powers of man that Charles did think of love as the greatest of the 12 powers. And I agree that it is a very powerful spiritual ability that we have. There's also a quote from the scripture that I wanted to share with you. And this one comes from Colossians 3:12 and 14. "Clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience, and over all these put on love, which binds them together in perfect harmony." So that is the basics of the Pink Loop prayer. And I hope that you will all try it in your lives too. And you'll discover many ways that you can use it, because we're all very creative. And I love the feedback I get about how somebody's put it to a new use. And I also love getting these stories that say, I used this and it worked for me, it healed this situation, it transformed that situation, it lifted me up. And so that's my affirmation for you, that you will use this so that you too can have the experience of empowered living. And that's why we are here, to express our divinity, is it not? So I have one slide left for you with an affirmation. Divine love as me heals and harmonizes my life. Together. Divine love as me heals and harmonizes my life. And so it is. Thank you. Am I short on time?
So there are so many ways we can pray. And a long time ago, I wrote a song that had a lot to do with coming up with different inventive, creative ways to pray. Because being brought up in the Roman Catholic household where the Our Father and the Hail Mary were pretty much it was nice to have something that expanded my understanding, like your Pink Loop prayer so beautifully does. And so I appreciate that. But this song, I wanted to put into words some of the visuals that I was getting. One of them was a big red balloon with my intention in it going up to heavens. Some of it was some of the things you'll hear. There's a boomerang in the song, was sending it out into the universe and it'll come back to me. Another one was a big ship on the ocean for prosperity. A shooting star for love. So there was a bunch of different allegory and different items that I would choose to create to make this song. And it ended up being kind of a fun song. I think maybe I should do a video to animate the ideas. It would be kind of fun. Anyway, here is Brand New Prayer. Oh, and by the way, I was told by Mr. Jerry Stricker that we have a potluck today. So, and please enjoy the food after at Fellowship Hall after the peace song. I was down on my luck and down on my knees, a beggar in the rain with a broken cup. All my efforts never eased the pain. I would chase my tail again, and I would fail again. Then I'd chase my tail again. I broke free from the senseless struggle, picked myself up from the puddle. I realized what a mess I had made, and I found a brand new way to pray. Found a brand new prayer. With this breath I take, a red balloon flies away. A dream returns awake. Another time, another place, a better, brighter day awaits. With a brand new prayer. Putting my wishes for a dream come true in a great big old red balloon. Fill it with love and all my intentions, and let it fly so high, right up to heaven. To heaven. Put in my plan to stay a healthy man in a big bang boomerang. Wind it up, send it spinning, and just like the beginning, it will come back to me. It will come back to me. With this breath I take, a boomerang spins away. A dream returns awake. Another time, another place, a better, brighter day away. With a brand new prayer, I put my plans for prosperity in a great big ship at sea. Fill it with love and my constant devotion, and let that ship sail out on the ocean, out on the ocean now. Set my sights on the love of my life in a great big candy heart, on a sugar shooting star, and in sweet time her love will be all mine. Your love will be all mine. With this breath I take, a shooting star speeds away, a dream returns away. Another time, another place, a better, brighter day away. Yeah, with a brand new parade. But my hopes for the whole human race, launch a rocket ship in space with a cargo of love, brotherhood and peace, and may all the fighting cease. Count it down with me. And with this breath I take, we're rocking on the Milky Way, a dream returns away. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Yeah, brand new parade with a brand new prayer. Woo-hoo-hoo. I got a brand new parade. Parade. And now I got a pink loop prayer too.
Brand new way to pray.
All right.
That's great. All right, I'd like to call the chaplains forward. We have any chaplains with us today? Yes. Come forward. 2, 1, 2. All right, our chaplains, I'll give them a chance to get here. All right. Okay, these are our chaplains today, and they will be available to pray with you after services. So just come up front, they'll be up front, and be happy to attend to your prayer requests. Okay? Thank you. All right. The chaplains are available for prayer. Also, the tithes and offerings, or tithes and blessings. Okay. All right. Please read this with me. Divine love blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I give, all that I receive abundantly. Thank you. Thank you. All right, now, will you stand and sing with us, please? The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.